that we can, act on lightly. And unfortunately, when you have contracts like this is going to be a long, drawn-out, process. So we're going to continue to push forward on it. But yes, this is something that comes from TCEQ.
Right.
So this is, okay, so we have new business action item, rules and regulations, signs on the fort.
That was actually something that you and I talked about recently, about how we want to regulate, if that's the right word, signs on the fort. We don't want people with a different agenda than what we're trying to achieve coming forward and say we need signs on the fort.
Right, so this is an item that was, in other communities where they've had speeding issues and traffic problems, there's been, community efforts to put up regulated signs that were distributed, that would be uniform, that would fit the aesthetic of the location, but would also display the message that is trying to be disseminated among the public. So right now we have rules and regulations around political signs, around any sort of signage that's going to be up based on election cycles, and so in order to have a community effort where you would have signs placed in people's yards and on personal property, we would need some sort of proposal or board resolution to allow for these signs. The specific signs that we're talking about would be signs addressing the speeding. And I feel like there's been members that have come forth that said that they would like to have a sign, and said, well, we did the month of signage, and I think it was very successful. I think people were aware. Probably not the people that were actually doing the speeding, but everyone gets a little heavy-footed every now and then. So it did work. But to go forward, this would be something that we would need a board resolution on. So are there any comments from the public on signs, if they're uniform, around speed control or anything like that? So.
We were looking at purchasing signs or potentially purchasing signs that were not inexpensive. They were metal, they were short, but they were legible as you drive by. And maybe we were hoping some members would be interested in purchasing one for their yard, but something that was a little more lasting, and it would look nicer than our signs were nice and they were fun and we had a good time with them, but they didn't stand up well to weather. So that was a issue for the poor lady making them. She kept making them again, and this kind of thing. So there was some thought about, didn't you look online and see something you thought was pretty decent?
So yeah, there's been signs, actually, we have an example of one at the house, but Mr. Peterson, have you seen this in other areas where we would have personal signs or on personal property?
No.
The only thing is, if you're gonna, you gotta consider three things, or three roads, because the county has permission to issue summonses on Fort Clark Road, Scales Road, and Crockett Road. So any signs you put up there have to meet the state specifications.
So these are more signs around like slow down or watch
You
your
have to realize
speed.
that almost every other HOA prohibits signs on personal property.
Right, which I believe we do as well.
Right.
Well, there used to be signs, like say going into Unit 15, when you turn off of Fort Clark Road, there used to be a one speed limit sign, 15 miles per hour, let's say, for their unit.
Yeah.
So there was one posted at the beginning of each unit, had its own speed limit sign. Those, those type, what I would think would be applicable in terms of, not meeting state
Right.
specification type things.
So it sounds like where we're at is If there is an interest in these signs and there is something that you would like us to put together as far as a resolution, please send some feedback in, and, you know, this will go on YouTube, so hopefully this will be seen. And if there is something like that, then we can make a decision on if we want to put some sort of resolution together and make sure that we keep the aesthetic of what we're trying to achieve going forward.
And there's also a speed limit sign at the entrance when you cross the bridge, or before you cross the bridge, says speed limit 25 miles per hour.
And also, when you cross, all your sins are washed away, so speed away and then come back.
Yeah, right, sure. You're a good guy when you show up.
So, are there any announcements?
No.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, I'm Mrs. Everett, if you got my complaint and Mrs. Wilhelmina Simmons about the cats.
We did. We're working on that. There actually been quite a bit.
And did you
done.
get the pictures also? I'm
Oh, I don't
she
need
sent them.
pictures. I pretty much know what a cat looks like.
I mean, is it necessary that a family has to have 19 to 20 cats?
No.
It's illegal. Look at the CCNRs. There is a specific number mentioned in every single CCNR.
Yeah,
If you
I was
look at
here
that in-
before, and that was
If you look at
about,
that in particular, they can't claim those are their cats. They just put food out on their back porch and all the feral cats come and eat.
that was about Unit 3.
That's
It was
one
real
of them. There are
bad.
about
That
three
was
different-
about,
There are at
few
least
years
three
back.
different, there are at least 3 different places on the
Yeah.
floor
yeah.
that have way too many cats.
And
I
now
think-
it started in Unit 27, real bad.
Yes?
I have dead birds
Oh, we,
in my yard, the head's bitten off.
yeah.
And then my neighbor next door, that cat, something got a hold of the cat, died on her porch. And I watch her house in the front, and I go in her house in the front to check if everything is okay, because she's not here right now. But it was in the back. Her mowers came and they discovered it. It was horrible. It was a big cat, died on her back porch, and the smell was astronomical.
And I
But
think
we only can have 2 dogs. That's in the bylaws. You should have only 2 dogs. These people have 20 cats. We talked with Philip. Now, he caught one and he said,
We've caught,
yeah.
So I think there is an effort to do that, to do some trapping and to remove the cats. And then I know that there's several groups or people that are working to organize to actually put together a spay, neuter, I'm butchering the actual, do you want to say something about this?
I'm going to be starting an organization. In the bigger cities, there's things called trap, neuter, return, where they find these colony of cats and they trap them, and you fix them and then you release them back, and then there's colony caretakers that take care of the cats. So it keeps the population stable and shrinks it. So, but we're working on that right now.
So there is an effort to work through this issue, and it's, you know, again, it's one of these things that it's delicate because there's feelings on both sides, right? And they're not people's pets, and that's the main issue. There is no person to find, and I don't think finding a cat's going to help very much. I mean, we're going to have more delinquency than we do now, but you know, there is an issue there, and we do recognize that. So it is something that we're working on.
Well, this is a bird sanctuary, and those cats back there in Unit 27 killing a lot of birds. And their eggs are down because somehow they can climb up where they got their little nests. And it's really disgusting. What I have pictures here. It's unbelievable. So I just want these people confronted who have so many animals. And you can't,
They have,
if you can catch them and take them down to Del Rio to have them euthanized, they won't even take them. They say all our cats have a disease, so therefore they don't want them. But you know, if I really get mad, and we have done it, I took him down I asked them, I said, I pay for it, please, take him and euthanize him. They won't do it, so we got rid of them some other way. Now, they're
Sure.
stuck with them. But this makes me angry. It's not the cat's fault, it's not, it's the owner who leaves them. When they leave here, they leave their animals. Or some people die, that's understandable. There are the cats. But it's sad, it is really sad. I've never seen anything like that.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That was my problem. And Mrs. Simmons.
Any other announcements? Okay, we'll adjourn to executive session. It is 10:09.
I don't see the problem with